If people infected with COVID are asymptomatic and don't have symptoms, how then do they spread it to other people? Well, this is a really good question, and it's one that you guys have asked me, so I'm answering right now. Asymptomatic infection is when somebody is infected with COVID, but they don't even necessarily know it because they have no symptoms. They don't have a cough, they don't have fever, they don't have any of that stuff. So you say, well, how can they even transmit it if they have no symptoms? Good question. Well, the answer is, first of all, we think it can happen a few ways. So let's say somebody who has asymptomatic infection, let's say they're running or exercising or jogging or something like that. What happens when we work up a sweat and we're exercising? Well, we start breathing hard, right? And in that sort of panting and breathing hard, we can expel or expunge a number of particles from our mouth and nose, and those could infect other people if they have COVID. But not only that, let's talk about singing, right? So what do we do when we sing? When we sing, we're putting a lot of force and energy behind our voice to sort of get it out there, right? Get it out there to the world. And when we do that, we're actually potentially spewing a number of particles from our mouth and nose that could then go on to infect other people as well. But that's not the only way, right? Forceful talking, kind of like what I'm doing right now when you're really excited and you're talking excitedly and things like that. When you put a lot of energy behind your voice, even with talking, that could cause particles to be expunged from your nose and mouth and potentially infect other people if you have asymptomatic COVID infection. Guys, kind of blows your mind, right? But this is how people who are infected with COVID but are asymptomatic can actually spread it to other people. This is why face masks are so important, because your face mask protects me and my face mask protects you by keeping our particles to ourselves. But that's not the only way, right? There's another way too. Let's say somebody is infected with COVID but asymptomatic. They have asymptomatic infection, but let's say they rub their nose or their mouth or their eyes or something and then touches a doorknob, a door handle, or touches a table or something. Someone coming after them who touches the doorknob or touches the table, etc., could then potentially be infected with COVID that way. So I hope this is making some sense, right? It's kind of like, aha, that's how this can happen. And as we know that asymptomatic infection happens. We know that asymptomatic transmission happens. We don't exactly know how much asymptomatic transmission happens. But again, it's one of the reasons why we always say to wear your mask, to still social distance, to wash your hands, to avoid touching your face, use hand sanitizer if you can't wash your hands, all of that good stuff. Guys, I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in sending stars, remember, I answer your questions first. You can find stars underneath each one of my videos. If you watch the videos on my Facebook page, and speaking of that, please don't forget to like and follow my page, because I don't want you to miss any videos, because again, I'm answering your questions. Oh, and if you found this video helpful, please share it with other people. I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, and I'll see you soon.